Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. And
What's
look,
up, my people?
yes, all of a sudden, surprise, Randall and Brian. Randall disappeared, but Brian is there. He is. Brian is there too. We got 5 of us.
Yeah.
Howdy. Howdy. Jesse
How's
Bricks,
everybody
Alexi, Willie Ball, Brick Snaps, and Whisper Runner are here in the comments section. They say hello to everybody.
What's up?
And of course,
Hey.
this episode is an explosive discussion. Hopefully, we'll blow up the chat at the same time.
Brought to you by the letter E for explosives.
For
Right.
explosive. And that is the most common question that I have gotten so far is, what did they use? And how did you guys build for that? And how did you place the explosives in there? So question number 1, does anyone want to try to take that one on?
Yeah.
What
Those
did
are
they
all
use?
super good questions. So to my understanding, and Moto, you might have a good idea of this as well, but I think what they're called are squibs, which in the movie business are those little things that are used to create the fake gunshot impacts that come out when people get hit or when walls get hit. So there are small charges that create a little small explosive detonation. And when you pack a lot of them in, they can actually pack quite a punch and they can give you a full-on explosion effect. So what they put one of these charges, the squibs, and then they put whatever your explosive element was, they put those together so that the squib would create the explosion and the element would blast from that. And then we were instructed to build compartments that were specifically designed to house these explosives. So that was something we had to factor into our builds. And that was a very challenging part of this whole process, was figuring out where are we going to put these explosives to make sure they have the most impact. That was one of the things that I feel like maybe in the episode it wasn't as mentioned in the rules of it, but it was something we were all very aware of, is where are we going to put these explosives so that they create the best effect.
Yeah, and I remember they did say they were squibs. They laid one on top of my build, so I was able to look at it, and it was, we had our element surrounding it. But what struck me was that I don't think it was a gunpowder explosion. It was definitely a higher crack than a boom. So I thought it was more like a plastic explosive. But you couldn't tell, and of course they weren't going to tell us. And by the way, none of us were putting the explosives in the builds. Okay,
Yes.
so number 1,
Yes.
there is a little bit of
or
complexity.
igniting them or anything.
Yeah,
there was
exactly.
someone
So
on
there's
set for that.
A pyrotechnic guy, or what they call a pyro guy. And that is
Yep,
his
there was
job
an
for
explosives
safety.
expert whose job it was to form, shape, build the charges, and then they placed them inside the model based on some crib notes that you had passed along to production, and then you crossed your fingers that they were putting it in the places that you intended. So I was wondering, so Brian, you talked a little bit about there, Lauren, for both of you, because I'll let you both go first. How did you design the void, or how did you, what instructions did you give that person to where to place them?
Yeah,
I think, Brian, you can go for that one.
Yeah, for sure. We wanted to make sure that they were all inside the frog, but specifically they were packed right behind the frog's mouth so that they were packed very tightly so that we direct the explosion, so that the explosion would go outward. But with that, there's a bit of a risk, because when the explosion all goes outward, it could hit our figure, So we were worried about that, because we thought, all right, this tongue is going to go flying, and it totally did.
And it did.
And so we actually got really lucky. Yeah, we got super lucky because you see it in the replay, and that tongue does come flying forward, and it hits that little pollen detonator box, that little TNT box that we built.
And that
collides with it and separates and barely avoids the figure. So we got really lucky, but we did build it with the intention that it would just blow the frog's head off, basically.
Yeah, I want us all to talk about your perspective on the explosions, because in the show they do the blowout, then they suck it back in, they blow it back out, but it's not the entire slow-mo recap we got. because the slow-mo explosion that we saw was the full slow-mo replay.
Yeah.
From beginning to end, and it lasted good 90 seconds or a full 2 minutes from what I remember. It was a pretty long play, or at least it felt long. So Phil, how did you guys kind of plan your explosives or pass notes along to the master of the big booms that was on set?
Yeah, so I remember correctly, they had like the squib, and I think it was like a circle thing, right? And then it had like a cable that ran off the back, obviously to be able to detonate it. So behind the Cabaret Hotel, I had 2 charges. I had one on either side, and I actually put more on one side and the other, so it would kind of torque the building as it would go down. I was really trying to protect that minifigure, and then so I made like a little channel like behind the wall, and you see it a little bit as like a big yellow wall, and I basically created a couple of mortars on each side so that it would blow it forward, and then it also blew the wall apart and behind it too, though. But it did its effect. And then we actually had one that was in the fountain in the center. And that one we actually created like a path for, like underneath the entire build. And it was like, I think it was like 20 minutes before we were done. I went to check that path to make sure it was right. And we had unintentionally blocked off that path. So we had to rip up the whole side of the build just so I could create the wire path to get the squib in. So we got a little bit lucky at the end there because we did double check.
Wait, at what point during the build did you realize that?
Yeah, that was like with like 20 minutes to go. Yeah, it was pretty tight. And what do they always say? They say measure twice and cut once. So we got really lucky. They probably would have worked with us and like moved the bricks around and stuff, but I don't know because you never know what the rule they make.
Wow.
Like, well, too bad you can't put one there. So we ended up putting a couple of charges underneath the water there, and then sprinkled some 1x1 rounds in it to make it look like sparkly as
Well, the explosion
Oh,
with
wow.
the fountain was epic. That was
Yeah, it
awesome.
was.
Yeah.
It went exactly how I wanted to. I wanted the front explosion to run into the backward, or the forward motion explosion to run into the up explosion. So they run into each other and then not knock the minifigure off. And I guess it did all right.
Yeah.
Okay, Randall, I'll let you go next. Oh, okay. I guess he'll be back. No, wait.
Oh yeah. So what's that question?
So the idea was, how did you guys design for the explosive, and then
Okay.
like how did you pass your crib notes to make sure they got in the right place?
Yeah. So we had I built a hole in the back of the wizard. So I built that real fragile like it, and as I was building it, it was falling apart. So when they were setting the charges, they were like, yeah, this thing is super fragile. So I was like, yes, this is great. I had a hole under the cauldron that I built because I ended up building channels under it to get the height for the elevation. But one thing that I did not do was, I guess, put a wall in the channel so that the explosion would go up instead of like horizontal. And I think the last thing that we attempted to do was, I guess, build the 2 towers in a fragile way, the same way as the wizard. But the way we built it and then like put it down, we kind of like pushed the bricks hard against each other so it would blow out. That's why it went up when you saw it on TV.
Yeah. How about you, Wayne?
Oh, I'm actually
Unless you-
driving right now, so let me get to a spot where I can park.
Okay, I'm going to mute you just for touch because we are getting some road noise.
Oh, Wayne got
Oh,
hair.
he froze up, which happens to me all the time.
What was the question that everyone?
Oh. Wayne, you went robo voice on us, man.
Cellular
Oh, he's back.
networks, they're getting there.
Yeah,
They're
we're
not
getting
quite.
there. Okay, I'll go next to try to cover some space for Wayne to get his car stuff going. So for us, the idea was to throw the rainbow of bricks up. So I built drawers with tiles on top, and the drawers went into compartments. And then in the back, oh, we lost someone. We lost Lauren. Oh, wait.
Yeah, that's right.
Did I click something?
My-
Oh, Wi-Fi problems. I hear you.
Wi-Fi. Yeah.
Wi-Fi. But yeah, I built brick belt like
My
rings.
Wi-Fi
So
is
like
not being happy.
I know, but like in a medieval gate where they put the barrier, the block of wood down, to close the door. I had that, but it was a slot, and then I had everything tiled, and I used the printed city warning hazards on the ends. So I told the person just pull the bar out, slide 3 drawers out, place them inside, and slide them back in and lock it. So like a shaped charge, it would direct everything up, and then there was a little part that was supposed to go
Really
forward.
smart.
That's
Wow.
cool.
But that was a good half the time was making that entire drawer
Yeah.
shaped charge system, and you could see the sides remained intact.
Yeah.
So we didn't have the level of playing field you guys had, because I was really worried about. I made sure the explosion was at a little bit of a height, so it would clear the top of the head. Even though I'll talk about like what happened during our explosion. I think we all should talk about like, did it work as you planned, or kind of what happened there.
Yeah.
But I'll cycle backwards. I'll try. Phil, you talked a little, or Randall. So when the thing blew up, was there anything you noticed that got missed, kind of with all the accelerated cuts and stuff, or?
Was there anything that got missed? Anything that we didn't do? Anything
Well,
got missed?
anything you noticed during your explosion, like you were really happy with it, or it kind of went different than you thought, or?
Man, it looked better on TV than I felt like it did when we were there.
Oh, okay.
I was
Good.
I was too in my head at that time, really like pay attention to it when it happened, because the things that I hoped to have happened did not. But Amy did say that it looked cool, and I couldn't hear it. I couldn't acknowledge that at the time. I was like, yeah, okay. But it ended up okay for TV, so I'll take that.
The 2 flumes of like the powder
Yeah.
going up made a really cool
We're
effect.
really cool.
Like nothing that like really nobody else did, because it was right at the same time. It was
Yeah.
very like wizardy, like it fit
was.
with the evil wizard really well.
Yeah.
With the medieval-y sort of vibes.
Yeah, and again that was given that we y'all saw me take that wall down. That was around like 2 hours left into it.
Oh, that just makes me freak out, man.
Right.
Yeah.
That like gives me the shivers.
Wow.
You're seeing that clock, and you're seeing it tick down, and you're starting a lot of new
Basically
stuff
from
at that
scratch.
point.
So I was like, well, this
Oh my gosh.
because when they came over and they were asking us about this wall that I think Sarita had put it up as I was trying to figure the wizard out, and I was telling them that I think the concept of the wall was to try to direct the explosion out, but the thing that I said to them was, if it directs it out and something in front of it explodes but the wall's still there, then like it's not gonna look cool, so wall got to come down.
Yeah. Wayne, while you're here, did you have any difficulty passing notes, having them shape the charge into the places you want, or anything like that, or?
Well, so when we were building ours, right, we had actually gotten pretty lucky, because the sphere thing that we did right there, we already knew was inherently breakable. But I did have my concerns, right, because originally, I don't know if you guys were to talk about, but there were some complications with the charges, right? There were some possibility it might not be powerful enough or something like that. But just it's explosions, right? It's such a random thing. You just never know. Because when I was watching the slow motion build of all of ours while they were watching the show, it's like, oh dang, some of those bricks came really, really close, right? Like with Lauren and Brian, I saw your build right there. That little box that you guys had to detonate everything, I think that thing saved your figurine, because the tongue was gonna knock it out. That was insane.
It did. It did.
I
Yeah.
was like, woo.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's crazy.
I can have
Which
Oh,
I didn't
man, they're
notice
pouring
that
out.
after the
Hey,
time.
what's
Like
up?
when we were
What's
actually
up?
watching
Hey,
it, I
guys.
didn't notice that.
Hey guys.
So
Hey.
about
Are you good?
about you?
Hey, Caleb, what's up?
Yeah.
And I couldn't help but think it's like, oh man, explosives, right? I mean, I can happily say this. I don't think anyone here is comfortable with putting explosions in your Legos, right?
Well, someone's
Right.
asking me. It's like,
Hey.
oh man, how did you feel? It's all, you're blowing stuff up. That's not right. And I said, dude, it's their Lego. It's not mine. Like,
That is true.
That's
it's
how I
their,
felt. I
it's
didn't
their
feel
stuff.
like,
It's not like they're coming to my home
yeah.
and blowing crap up.
Yeah. And you don't get to keep it anyways. They all end up being taken
that's
apart.
the other thing.
anyways.
It's going to get broken up anyway, so might as well have it get broken up in an awesome way.
In a cool way you could never do at home.
Yeah.
Like it felt
So
pretty
Brian
surreal. Like
and
this
Lauren-
was one of those moments.
So I wanted to have your turn because you talked a little bit about the explosion and what you saw that maybe the audience would have missed because we had more replay time.
Yeah.
So you wound up with a close call.
We did wind up with a close call. Yeah, because we built that tongue really long. You know, that tongue stretches about.
And we were all wondering. We all asked you.
Yeah, it stretches like half of our canvas there, and then when it flies off, those minifigure legs at the front end just like came straight off and flew right at the figure.
Yeah.
And luckily, we had built that little yellow TNT
So
box
lucky.
because that was the only thing that saved our figure. You saw that the tongue hit that box and then split, and the minifigure legs went one direction and the pink bricks went the other direction. And they
So
both
lucky.
somehow dodged the figure. And
Literally. Can't believe
That was
it.
epic.
So lucky about that.
it was lucky. So we were really happy about that because we didn't know what was going to happen with that tongue. That was like we took a gamble with that one.
Yeah.
Right on.
That was exciting because that's a
I'll
scary
go-
thing. You don't know like if it's going to get hit or not or what's going to happen. And I know that was the thing we were all really thinking about when we were building was how close to make it, how far back to make it, what do you risk? And that was a risk, but our little box luckily saved it.
Yep. And I'll go to Mark next.
Well,
No, I
it's
won't.
Steven, but his name says Mark. Why are you saying Mark?
Steven,
You're
wait.
Steven.
You're messing me up.
Right? Is this through Facebook? It's this live stream.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't
It's
know,
on
maybe
Facebook,
connected to
Facebook
something
and
other.
YouTube.
Yeah,
Facebook and YouTube
I
both.
guess I can't do it because I don't have a Facebook account, so I have to use my brother's account. I'm really sorry. It's gonna be weird. That's not right.
All right.
Yeah,
Ooh,
not
wait,
sure.
My layout went.
That is
Mark, let me
Steven.
let me get you back to solo. There you go. So we were talking a little bit about, how did you make a cavity for where to put your explosives, and then, did you have any difficulty communicating for where they were to be placed? The placement stuff, was that difficult? And then the final effect, was there anything that, you saw that maybe the audience wouldn't have seen because we saw the full slow-mo from beginning to end?
Yeah. So let's see. We didn't have any difficulty with the explosives or whatever. Everything was pretty straightforward. We just had 1, 2, 3 explosives, not like all in one. It was 1, 2, 3, and it was just like Mark did really well in the watermelon. We had every section was just one stud. So a 2x3 only had one stud on it. The rest were tiles. We had that for the entire structure, so it came apart really nicely, even though it was really big. The water tower was just some blue bricks in there. It was all really simple and straightforward. But I couldn't really enjoy the explosion because of you know what.
Wah wah. Yeah. One unlucky moment, and you were worried. I know you were. Yeah.
So, at first, we thought you guys were all there. At first, we thought something had hit him, but I don't know why I missed it. But apparently, it was the shockwave that knocked him off. I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yes.
Shockwave.
Yes.
It was
It
all
was
really
the base.
bad.
It was the base plate from the shock.
Mhm.
Had a ripple effect that went through it and popped it.
I'm thinking our build was not very heavy. It's pretty flat. We only had some stuff in the
Sorry
back.
about that.
Maybe that had something to do with it. I don't know for sure. But yeah, the explosion went really well. I was really happy. We had the face kind of like get torn apart, like stretched out and stuff. It
Yeah.
was pretty cool. And you had the large blueberry king falling down with one eye. You know, I really loved that.
I just
part.
loved all those little characters, all the little
Yeah.
fruit. Because you guys were
Yeah.
next to us when we were building, and I remember at one
Yeah.
point looking over and being like, "Oh, the little evil fruit! Like they're awesome."
Yeah.
That
I
was
loved
the
it.
highlight. That was the best
Yeah.
part. Except for the watermelon.
That was
But
great.
yeah.
Caleb, I'll get to you next, but there's a couple of questions I just wanted to answer pretty quick. So they're kind of related. Oh, this is a Facebook comment. Somehow it's not showing. Was the crew able to recycle or clean the Lego blown up? Was one of them, and the other one was still not showing. What the hell? So.
Oh, I see it.
I see it.
Oh, did you? So I can't.
Yeah.
For some reason, it's not showing on my screen. But anyway, so we were told multiple times that every single piece that we used would not be cycled back into the brick pit and would be out of our hands for the remainder of the show. And so basically all the stuff that was exploded can no longer be certified as high quality by Lego and meeting their standards. So all of it was gathered up and disposed of. And one fun thing I had was because I was toward the front of the green room, I saw them carrying the model out. They had people like with those boards, like trying to carry them out. And as they came out, there was another person on comms, like following them. And I went, dun, 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 as it went past. And the production person stopped and started to salute the belt as it went past, and then it went, and it was gone. Like 10 minutes later, the truck pulled up, dumped it all in, and took off.
I have a question about that. That stipulation, did that impact how y'all built?
A little. Like, I use no mixel joints, I can tell you that. Precious mixels.
So I remember, like, I was outside the filming stage themselves. And I don't know if you guys saw this or not. Maybe I was like lagged, like behind, like, you know, getting my.
Well, you're so tall, you can see over everything. The rest of us,
but yeah. But I remember being outside the studio, and I remember Dave and Richard's build. Like, they had like studio staff like putting it in the dumpster, and there were some people out there because I think we asked if we could go in and get it, do like full on dumpster diving.
Why not?
Yeah. I mean, I'd use the brick, maybe not the glitter brick, but you know, clean.
Yeah, it was even, they learned, because episode 1 I know did a little bit of dumpster diving at certain times, but for us the dumpster was in a different zone of no-go zone. And not only that, but once they had it all dumped in, I swear that truck pulled up, you know, and offloaded like 10 minutes after they got everything in there. So there was no chance for any of us were going to get any of that stuff. But Caleb,
Hey,
your turn.
Moto.
Sorry. Hey, how are you?
Good. It's nice to hear your voice.
We love you too, Caleb.
Caleb, I gotta say, I absolutely loved you and Jacob talking about glitter when you guys were saying your team glitter.
Yeah.
Our whole watch party loved that. Loved
Brilliant.
Shining moments of beautiful twin awkwardness.
It was amazing.
Immortalized on television now. Yeah, priceless.
Just wait. I have to add another member of the screen and change the layout before I.
The twinkle
Make
sound
sense again?
effects, I think, is what really
what's up,
made.
Tim?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
We haven't gotten that part of the episode yet.
We loved it.
Oh.
Loved it. And the evil laugh. Can't forget
Yes.
the evil laugh.
I don't know if I have to be in the right frame of mind to be able to actually do that evil laugh again. I got to kind of get in character for that one.
So funny.
I will get to you. I just want to get to Caleb. So Caleb, we were talking about, like, did you have any difficulty like building a pocket into your build, and you know how'd you pass on the notes for the explosives expert to get it in there? And then the final slow-mo, was there anything you saw that kind of on TV that it was so quick that people might have missed?
Yeah, for sure. So ours was one of the quickest explosions featured on the show. I felt that, which is fine. It was kind of middle of the pack, I feel. But Jacob and I obviously did something a little different with our explosions in that we had ours suspended, and we wanted those UFOs to be obliterated, and so they were super fragile. So my concern was that like touching the things would either knock them over or make them fall apart. The UFOs were made 1 second. With this octagonal piece, right?
Right, yeah.
That's the only thing connecting the sides of the UFO were clips attached to these bars. So it was really fragile. So
Well, that's why they vaporized when that thing went
exactly.
on.
With nothing left.
I think
Wow.
while we were building the things, Jacob and I probably knocked these things apart, I don't know, 4 times just trying to get them up. Obviously, they got it in right. It fell apart fine, but that was by far the scariest part, and making sure like it could be accessible. So like the top glass portion could be lifted off to get inside of those. I think one thing that thankfully wasn't brought up on the show, but I'm going to confess to now, is that the bottom UFO explosion completely flopped, and we did get critiqued a little bit on that.
What happened with that?
Yeah, it was fine.
How did that not blow up? I'm actually curious.
Oh, I don't think I'm going to answer that because I think you know the answer.
Yeah, we got to tread carefully here.
Oh,
Post show, we'll figure it out.
Post show.
But yeah, I think it was successful. I was really happy with how we were kind of able to fill that space with explosion.
It was a gorgeous explosion. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
well,
And with
thank
that
you.
glitter,
That glitter,
I
I'm so
loved
jealous.
it.
Like slime for us was, I
Yeah,
didn't like
glitter was
slime. Slime was
awesome.
the worst.
Yeah. Also,
Water
Caleb,
was very good.
your rocket survived, and that was like a big thing in the middle,
Yeah.
right? To have the rocket survive. And I remember Brian had a funny story that he saw, which
Right.
I'll let him say.
Caleb, yeah, because
You
we
saw
were building next
next
to you,
to you guys as well.
Next to us. I remember when the judges came around and they were asking Caleb how strong the rocket was in the middle, and Caleb was like, "Well, let's see," and then he just chucks the rocket off to the side
Hilarious.
of it, and it smashes on the ground. And I remember Amy screamed. She was like, "Whoa!"
Why would you do
I
that?
wish that made it in the show.
I was really-
How did that get
Oh
cut?
my God.
No,
How did that get cut?
'Cause
Here's
that
my
was, like,
theory,
the
on
most
the cut.
surprising thing I've ever seen.
I think I caught the crew off guard too because there's no way anybody like got the take. And
Like
I'm
maybe
pretty
like
Oh.
fast enough.
I was asked about it in interviews, and I said, "Yep, just had to test it. That was the spot." So I was holding out hope
So-
you would make
God.
it, but didn't quite make the cut.
I will say that there
I
is.
was like waiting for that scene when the show came on because Brian had told me about it. I think it was like while we were building. I was like,
Yeah.
"That's amazing! Oh my god!"
I was just looking over. Did that just happen?
Confidence there. I love it.
Yeah, that was my desperate attempt for more screen time in episode 2, and it failed.
Amazing.
It failed.
There is easily
You
another
needed a
like,
scientist, an
few
evil
hours.
scientist lab for screen time.
content.
Yeah.
Oh, totally.
Speaking of-
I wish we
I
could just
will-
have
So 3
extended
hours long. It
version.
would be really interesting, and it would still be fun.
Yeah. Oh, if we had like 2 to 3 hour episodes, there would be jam packed with so much content still. Like very interesting content too, because we're all
Isn't the
going
Australian
through a
version
lot.
quite a bit longer too. Isn't the Australian like an hour and a half, or is it
Yeah.
like 2 hours? Okay.
It's a much longer episode.
Oh,
Yeah.
so
Oh,
cool.
lucky.
So Tim, you haven't had a chance to go.
Yeah,
You've kind of heard
I'm
what
a
we're-
bit of a mess. So
Oh, we're all at wreck, man. It's a Saturday. It's okay.
Welcome to the summer.
yeah.
So anything you want to talk about as far as setting the explosives, how it went off, just feelings?
Oh, I was
edit-
really, really, really happy with the way the 2 miles blew. But there's some things, hindsight, when you look at it, I think what happened with the wall, as we were moving it, it got leaned back a little bit more. And then when it was leaned back in the explosion, I think it knocked it off of its hinges that were on the bottom. And so when it knocked it off the hinges, it actually created the wall to kick out on the bottom, which then leaned it back up against the main wall, which caused it not to fall down. I think that's what happened. But again, we're totally guessing and surmising and trying to figure out because we weren't able to look at the builds afterwards. But that was the one piece, because it was so a critical part of our story. It was just, that's why we were in the bottom. But I mean, it was what it was. So.
You ever
Yeah.
get the feeling that you shouldn't tell them the story and let them figure it out for themselves? I felt like that was the case sometimes. They would just shut up and not say a thing.
Well, that's part of the judging. The story that Amy.
One
said that.
third of it is story, dude. If you don't say a thing, you're automatic. You're
At least a third.
Well,
Yeah,
at least the
that was-
third.
I know,
They-
but some of the stuff, it's like, sometimes they just put words in your mouth, and did I actually say that?
they cut a lot of people's stories though, like
Yeah.
on the show
Yeah.
itself. Like
Yeah.
I know Maria's story was significantly longer, and it was like
Yeah.
they took the first part of the sentence and matched it with like the last sentence and smashed it together.
That
So
happened
they
to
didn't really
Brian
get
and
the whole
I for
story.
episode 1.
Yeah, mine
They
wound
clipped out our story.
Yeah, mine wound up that way as well. I wrote like
Yeah,
a tight
episode
script, and I
1
tried to
too.
get to one paragraph, and I remember getting
Yeah.
up there, and I did the thing, and then there was this pregnant pause, and Will's like, okay," because he was kind of used to the first episode where there was a much longer exposition, and then I got up there and just like hit 5 sentences and was done, and he was like, "Okay."
I
Oh,
love
one-
your creation, by the way, Moto. And
Well,
By extension, Paris. I love the name. That was hilarious. Perfect.
Yeah.
The one thing I did want to add, because I kind of Zach is the way that they put it together, and I'm giving away behind the scenes stuff. Zach did set me up for that laugh, but they made it look like Zach was embarrassed. But he's the one who wanted me to do the laugh. So that was one of the things. Like, he was just, if you guys remember when he was talking about it, because every hero has a slogan, right? And that's, he set that whole thing up, and he said it goes like this, and he gave it, handed the mic off to me, and that's when I did that laugh. And then if you guys remember too, they're like, wait, we gotta get that on camera. Go.
I remember that. Second take.
Yeah, every once in a while the cameras aren't ready, so you have to go back and do something a little bit again. But it's not like it's they're feeding us stuff, right? They're always asking for you to do something you've done again.
Right. And it's not for lack of trying, because there's like 13 cameras on that set at any given time, I swear. So
let's see. Yeah. At least
I don't want to like what Buddy was saying. Me and Zach were about to kill each other about the story, right? Because we were trying to find a way to connect the dots about why is there a big alien on a desolate planet right there? And I told him, bro, it's so simple. Big alien monster, it's gonna blow up. We said, no, there has to be a reason why. So it's like, that's one of the things, right? It's like, I don't know how. Oh, hi Don, what's up?
Surprise! We have a full panel. All 10
Nice.
slots are taken.
Oh, wow, that's awesome. Yeah, but the feeling was like, oh boy, like because when everyone sees the show, they only see us at the tail end, right? That's when we're all physically and emotionally exhausted for building that long. And it's like, how can you really explain that, right? And on top of that, right there too, it's like, it's like you're having to make these genius level things every single time. It's like, oh my gosh, it's a miracle that we're all still like alive after all of this. Personally, for me,
Yeah.
I remember at the end of the
anyone else wanted to tear their teammate's head off? Because I wanted to tear Mark's head off many times.
Yes.
I thought we were the. Oh, hey, puppers. I thought we were the only ones. Yeah, toward the end, Paris and I were getting into that like married couple bicker mode about fine details that didn't matter in the end.
We actually did not bicker, so
yeah. Okay. Yep. I knew there was some team that's going to get along.
We didn't bicker. I told Jack how it was going to be.
There you go.
Heck yes, Don. I love it. Yes.
Don, I will let you go next. I did want to talk about like the slow-mo part of ours because Paris isn't here, but and you guys saw this happen, but it kind of went by the camera motion was kind of edited to miss it. But when the thing went, when the thing went up and then outward, there were two pieces that ricocheted off the tree and managed to miss the figure. And then the last piece that came off, it tumbled and it knocked the sword out of her hand.
Yeah.
Which is probably
that.
So that was definitely the closest of, I think we had the closest call of everybody without losing the figure. But it came through really and it too. Yeah, theirs was close because of the TNT and the split. But ours physically like micron past the shoulder and then knocked the sword out. And they didn't show it, but they're like, they always tell you like, well, how do you guys feel? And I was like, I'm blah blah blah, and I'm sorry that we lost the sword. Like, I couldn't believe that. And of course Jamie steps in. He's like, well, I like it that she lost the sword because it means she's laid her weapon down and she can retire because she successfully accomplished her mission. and Will's like, why did you think of that? And I was like, it's Jamie. He's like, that's his job. His story.
Right. He gets paid to think like that.
I'm not a brickmaster, man.
Right.
I love it.
There's little things like that they don't show in the power that they have. That would, I think, would make it really interesting. They could like cut in, zoom to that section where that sword flew off, and they'd be like, "Look how close this missed." And it's just, man, I tell you, easily, and like 2-hour show, easily.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
This one was crammed. Let me add Wayne back in.
Yeah.
So Dawn,
these
for
first
you,
two have been very crammed.
we were talking about like, did you have any like, what was your approach to building the cavities for your explosives? Like, did you have to pass any special notes for them to load it in? And then anything you saw in the final explosion that missed the cut because it went by so fast, like anything you saw or any details you want to point out?
Well, we built a what size was it? It was a 4x6 square, 4x4x6 square green safe for the jewelry shop, and we had little clocks for dials on the front of it that if you looked in the front doors, you could see, and that's where the explosives went. And on top of that, we had our rubble that was supposed to shoot up, and then we also had, I think that we had 2 charges in there, and then we had another charge in the pawn shop, and we had the tools and the toilet and all that sitting on top of those charges. Well, the toilet disintegrated before it made the camera, so that was a bummer. You know, I mean, that was one of those tongue-in-cheek, because you always see, you know, the guy sitting on the toilet's the one that gets destroyed, you know, like Jurassic Park and all those other things, you know. It's just a classic gag. You know, so that was, and we kind of told them where we wanted. So they actually did a pretty good job, except they had something set straight up. And it's like, no, it needs to go forward. So we had to kind of tip it a little. I can't remember which charge that was, but we wanted to tip it forward so it would take out the wall. So that was changed. And where they didn't show the whole explosion. So there was part of it that once it was done, there was more down than what showed. So there were more parts of our build that had fallen down.
I feel like I remember seeing your build pretty destroyed.
Yeah, I mean, there was still a little bit. I mean, the pizza shop stayed. You know, so then that was the idea. We didn't want to destroy the pizza shop. He didn't do anything wrong. But, you know, we've got the rats at the jewelry store, and the pawn shop, of course, is, you know. So, you know, those 2 places were somewhat destroyed, but not quite like we had hoped. And when we got everything set up before we went to presentation, I'm looking and it's like, oh, this is not right. So I pushed down 2 plates. Because you do. Naturally, you think things need to be together. And I pushed down 2 plates as we were just before we presented to Jamie and Amy. And I'm like, oh, that would have taken the whole thing out if I hadn't done that. So
there's a little last minute accidental thing.
Yeah, I thought it just got twisted as they were putting the wires for the charges and all that kind of stuff, you know. And I'm like, oh, that doesn't look right. And so because I'm building. I'm not building to destroy. That was so hard.
Yeah.
So what? The next challenge that comes up, we would have rocked it. We proved it in this challenge.
That's right.
Are you planning on doing like a at-home version of the future challenges? So you can like build along
try
in spirit?
as soon as I learn what they are and some of the criteria for them. Some of them I don't learn the criteria in time, and it's like, well, we'll see what happens. But I know I'm not going to do a full 4 foot. They've already told us, and it's no spoiler. They've already told us in a promo that it's 4 foot. You know, I'm not going to build a 4 foot, but I am going to bring something that, and I'm going to shake it.
Yeah,
Mark, I don't have a plate that I can, you know, I don't have one of those.
You don't have one in your basement?
I do.
I have a lot of stuff in my basement, but I don't have one of those.
I will say most of you do. I have one.
Mark,
it's right over here.
If you don't mind.
Your washing machine.
Yeah. Like
I spin.
Like with your build right there, I was just so curious because, like, you know, it seemed like you're figuring like literally like what like just like fell off just when they hit the charge. What happened there exactly?
Oh, for us?
Yeah. Like why did because it was so weird, right? Because when we saw it back on the slow-mo, right? It's like it just like was starting to come down as the thing began. Like did it shake because of something or what?
Honestly, I have no idea.
Well, what was your element? Let's start there.
Our element was water. Sorry, I forgot.
So was ours. So the slime in the water it has such a high density that when the explosion goes off, the base plate got thumped a lot heavier, especially if it was on the ground. Like ours was offset, so I lifted ours a little bit off the ground. But if you think about it, it's just like an earthquake. It's like a fault line breaks, and that pattern kind of ripples out very suddenly across the base plate. So there was if you look, there's a little shake from the thump of the bomb going off, and I thought that's what kind of popped it. But
yeah, that was weird.
In the movement, I was guessing maybe because it got moved from your table to the podium display, and then you had to take it up and put it on the explosive display. Just even moving it could have. loosen.
Yeah, and that's,
we don't,
that's something that the audience wouldn't have known, but it makes sense. So part of the challenge of doing this build is you built on the base, and then you had to roll the base to the area, just like if it was Dream Park theme park. And then you had to lift the base up, and then you had to set it down in a very specific way within a wedge base area, where then it was exploded, and then they came and took it all down. But you were responsible for the rolling, the transportation, the lifting, the setting. And then we were all giving each other notes. Like Lauren and Brian, you guys, were able to give us the crib notes because of your lessons. Like, oh no, it's got this sticky part in the back, so you need to like judge it this specific way. Get your fingers under to slide it. So the first team, luckily,
because it would like stick. So you had to kind of lift it.
Sandpaper.
Yeah, so there was some friction. So luckily, Brian and Lauren, the first ones, were able to relay that knowledge back to us so that we were able to slide ours in a little bit easier.
The one thing I noticed too is when they had that base.
And what's also crazy is like
they were. Go ahead, Lauren.
You're good. You're good. I was going to say that what's crazy is we're building to break as well. Are we?
Uh-oh.
Your Wi-Fi is going.
Yeah. Well,
I'll channel on Lauren. How many times do you build for strength and then you have to do the opposite?
They had the base plates that were cut, right? And they were next to each other. And I wonder, some of them may have deviated a little bit side to side. And I think the minifigure, when you put their feet on the two base plates, like, depending on how taut it was, maybe how well the minifigure actually stays connected.
Yeah.
I don't know if I played into it at all.
Yeah, I think we put another plate across them
I think we did that too.
to hold it all in place, and then put her on top.
Oh wow, we didn't think of that. But it was 4/48s, right? That were then cut down to a wedge. Is that right?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh shoot, there goes Lauren for good. Yeah, so some people are asking like how big was it? It was 4/48s that are originally in a square that were then shaved into the triangle.
Kelly is asking a question about restocking.
Yeah.
Did you guys answer that one already?
No, I was going to show that one next.
Yeah. I'll start with this and you guys can go. But one of the things that I found is, yes, they were restocking, but because of our builds and the amount of pieces that we were using, there's sometimes where we would empty out the entire bin of whatever that one piece was because we needed it.
Yeah.
So there was one time where I was up there and I needed some certain slopes that we were using for some builds and things like that. And so I took the bin and I was like emptying it into my thing and then put one back because that's what we learned. It allows them to be able to figure out what is in that. So we had emptied it out the first time. The guy came back, filled it back up, and then I came and emptied it again. And he was standing right there and there was an audible, I was like, man, I'm so sorry. But I need these pieces. And he was it was like the funniest thing because he was just like,
So Tim, you probably pulled an element that was to be restocked was probably on like the farthest shelf of the farthest area of some warehouse that they were pulling from. You know, it's like the guy like passed the Ark of the Covenant in Area 52 past Indiana Jones's crate in order to get your piece before coming back, and then you just like casually offload the whole thing again.
I will say though, they were pretty quick at restocking stuff.
They really were. They really were.
You'd need a part, and then like you would be there or whatever, and then you'd ask, and they'd run back, and they'd get the part for you. You know, and it was within like 15, 20 minutes, usually the part was available, unless somebody else from another team didn't take it from you first. Ball joints, thank you very much. So, there's a reason why the background is a ball joint wallpaper here on the stream.
Yes.
Very good for mixel joint.
Ball joint. So funny.
It's all about the mixels,
Oh my
and I'm
gosh.
so sorry.
Yeah, but it's hopefully I won't get cut out.
Oh,
That's so funny.
Just when she starts.
I swear, guys, I'm not throttling her bandwidth. It's not me.
I
It's me.
can't. Am I back?
You're back.
There you go. Quickly,
Back?
quickly,
Will I
what was
stay?
it?
Who knows? But I was gonna say what's so hard too is a lot of the times they can't always have people restocking on camera when they're doing like wide shots of all the builds. So sometimes you'd have to wait and you'd have to kind of ask them, oh, can you restock XYZ, whatever it is at that moment. And a lot of the times it'd be like, oh, in 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and I'm there like biting my nails.
I
like,
didn't know that was
oh
the
my
reason
God,
why.
I need it right now. Like, so stressed. It's so stressful.
And there,
So that
there was a
would
lot of
sometimes
times
happen.
too where you're like, all right, we're just gonna have to use something else because
Yeah.
this part's not gonna be back in time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Yeah.
really, what they say that necessity is the mother of all inventions. So
Yeah.
Right.
And I know
Well, then that we
for
had
our-
to do that because David and Richard had used all of the printed pizza tiles, all the pizza boxes and the pizza tiles for their first build, and those were still built. And so I'm sitting there, we're doing a pizza shop on the side of this thing, and we couldn't find any. So I had to brick build a pizza. We had to make stripes for for our sign, so we couldn't put a pizza box on it, So it's like, all right, we're gonna do it this way.
So just
and of
to
course
show
another
the-
thing.
Okay, guys,
You can
there's
go.
another person in the green room, so I need someone to volunteer as tribute to go in the green room while I bring this other person on.
I can go out if I need to.
Okay, Mark, thank you.
Thank you, Mark.
Hi, Steven.
Bye, Mark. I'm constantly mixing Mark and Steven. I don't know why.
Well, and his,
I have
and his name says Mark right
I have
now.
a total defect for some reason. Oh God,
It did,
I'm a
didn't
bad
it?
person.
That's why.
So welcome, Michelle. I'll ask you the same set of questions we've been talking about, if that's all right.
Sure.
Okay, first let me take the banner down, and then I will show you big screen. There you are. So when you were building, kind of how did you build the necessary spaces to get the explosives in there? Did you have to leave any special notes for them to pack it? And then the third part is, did you see anything in your slow-mo explosion that would have been missed because of the pace of the editing? Something that you wanted to call out or something, or maybe everything went brilliantly and you're happy with it.
I think overall we were happy with the explosion. And we were just kind of guessing it the whole time. We weren't, I don't know. We're like, okay, well, we have to have like one, like, what do you call that? Like space underneath our coffee cup. And then inside the coffee cup, we're like, okay, well, we want explosion to go there and there. And, everything else is a guess because we were both kind of like, we have no idea what we're doing. But I mean,
Awesome.
I think overall it worked like we wanted it to.
Okay. Was there anything part of the slow-mo that people might have missed that you thought was like really wicked, or a part that went fly, or close calls, or
I
break?
don't think so.
No. Okay.
We
It
were
went
just happy that it worked, honestly.
Well, I loved with yours. There are two things I remember with yours, and one is how that coffee cup lid like explodes off and the insides of the coffee cup comes out. I thought that was really cool. And then just all the little string lights that got exploded out were really cool too.
We got all the chains that you had to kind of,
the
I think,
chains.
dig for everything, and they kind of went poof.
Yeah,
That was really cool.
I think we was just like, oh my gosh, it worked. Yay.
Yeah. And I know for me, watching it back, I was trying to see the slime and everything. All the slime ones, I was like trying to find the slime in the slow motion.
So here's a good question, which Randall will tell you he loved his minifigure to death. He loved to strangle it while he was trying to think of something.
Look at that face.
I'll try to go through really quick. Our minifigure perplexed us, and it wasn't one that normally I would have associated with building if I had to choose, but we made it work, I think.
Yeah.
I like yours, Moto. That was great. It's like, it was like a Noah's Ark type thing and busting the dam. I thought, oh man, that's legit.
We eventually got there. I would have liked a centaur, but I think they wouldn't let Randall and I trade for any stretch of the competition. But
Randall and Sarita were hoarding it.
Did you like the minifigure you pulled?
I really wanted Caleb's. He's the one I wanted.
Yeah, the Space Boy is cool.
Yeah, because I feel like slime just doesn't stay on screen long enough. Like, with the glitter and the powder, it actually stays during, before, after, like, bam,
Yeah.
the slime right there, the way we had the charger shaped, it literally, because we put all the charges in one spot, it just blew all out of the way. So you saw traces of it, but it didn't splatter over everywhere because we were too afraid it was going to blow up our figurine. So I would have liked the glitter.
Yeah.
How
The
about
dust was pretty cool too, though. Like just the fact that it lingered in the air so much.
Yeah, that's my.
Yeah.
It's a good one. It's a good one.
how about Brian and Lauren? Did you get the figure that you wanted?
I
Or-
remember
or was
just
it,
getting
like,
it and being like,
mediocre?
and being like,
You
how do
won.
we
I
make
mean,
this into an
was there
action
anything wrong with
hero?
It's so cute, and she's like smiling and she's happy. It's like, how do we do an action scene with this? So I don't know. I love fantasy stuff. So when I saw like the wizard was an option, I was like, oh man, you know, I would have gone crazy with the wizard.
Wizard,
So,
centaur.
Yeah.
I feel like I also really like the
Oh,
jewel.
we had magical elf. Elf would have worked for you.
Yeah, I like elf
I would
girl.
have gone full on Lord of the Rings with that.
Yeah.
Elf. I would have
Like-
built. Yeah. So there,
You
some
feel
of
like
those
you get a
fantasy ones were
sword.
cool.
Mhm.
But I think what works for the ladybug is that it's because it's such a tiny creature and so like innocent, it caters really well to having like a villain, you know. So that's like immediately where we went with that.
Yeah.
It's like a little innocent thing, and it's gonna have like a villain in its world.
Yeah.
So
And there's something
kinda
so
took that
fun about making something so innocent then explode something or do something that you wouldn't expect from it, that it's so
Yeah.
fun. Yeah, she's gonna blow up this frog. That's right. She's gonna take over her habitat. Like I
So
love
I'll-
that.
Yeah, I'll remove myself and add Mark in so that you guys can keep going around.
Or Marker Steven.
Man,
Good, Steven.
we did it again. Wow.
First of all, I cannot get it right. Now I'm gonna go into the green room of shame.
Kick him out. I'm gonna change my name to Maria just to mess with people.
Oh, whose turn was it again?
I don't even know.
Just
Should we go in the next
Mark. Just
order? I
go.
think Randall's at the top next to Brian, right? If we're all
Oh,
looking at the
sure. So I guess we talked about this the other day. Philip and I probably would have traded because I would have loved the Cabaret Girl.
Yeah, it would have been cool this entire.
I'm into like theater and shows and stuff like that, so I think I would have really been able to lean to that. And I guess second choice probably I would have liked to have done the Intergalactic Girl too. Like I really would have enjoyed doing that.
I would have traded because I was like space. Ooh, I don't know.
Yeah.
I just wanted glitter. As long as there was glitter, I would have taken anything. Like I like the wizard too, like the one that Jen and Susan got.
Yeah.
So, we could have made something real fun with that one. Yeah.
Should Caleb go next?
Yeah, Caleb.
Yeah, I talked about this with Maria and Philip the other night too. The wizard would have been awesome. It would have been that opportunity to build a castle, which is what I want. But and Team Glitter all the way, right?
Heck yeah.
Team Glitter.
Oh, I do want to say, when we had the centaur, I thought about doing some big architecture type stuff, but then I thought it was going to be like a pale imitation of Mark and Steven stuff. So I was like, let me move away from that. Yeah. But anyway, Nick, Philip, that's your turn.
Everybody's pretty much said the wizard now, but honestly, like the wizard with glitter, I mean, like it's like it just springs like or things like spell, right? Like
so
some kind
magical.
of spell, magical like, world. Like I think if I had the wizard, I probably would have done like he made an accident and shrunk himself down and done like large like bottles and potions and books or something, and then he tries to make himself bigger but blows everything up instead. But you know what? That being said, even though we had seen exactly 0 cabarets before I had Cabaret Girl, I think we kind of liked her in the end. So
I love yours.
Yeah, it was great.
It was fun. We sat down and we're like, how do you make a Cabaret Girl a hero? We don't know. So we made her a thief.
It was really
Yeah,
good.
I
Dawn's
loved your
thief
whole
as well.
story. Mhm.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Wayne.
Wayne's turn, I guess.
Oh, it's like for which figurine you would have traded for?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I really wanted Caleb.
Oh, no, I
that
know.
was like the one that I thought would have been the best. Like I feel like with what we wound up making, I think it would have been like just perfect because instead of slime, it would have just been like powder inside would have had more effect. I think. But in the Wizard, I thought, oh, that would have just been fun, right? You can take it so many different ways from there. So that build that we made, the sphere, it's like, you know, we had made that thing before, and just before we had got on the show, it was actually, it fell down and blew up into a million pieces. So we thought, oh, this is perfect right there. I was thinking, you know, if we had gotten like what, you know, Rocket Boy, we could have made like some suns exploding. Oh, that would have been awesome. It could have been like what, you know, the Big Bang Theory. I was thinking something.
Yeah, the Big Bang.
Yeah, that was what I wanted to do, right? I was thinking like, you know what, why don't we build something like, you know, because I really like how Caleb took it, right? It's like, oh, you could actually have it really high up and whatnot. But now I was just telling myself, you know, it is what it is, right? Because like that was the thing, right? I mean, honestly, I think if we had just gotten those same characters, but we had been able to choose what element we were dealing with, I think that could have really changed how the show all wound up in, right? I mean, because, you know, the slime was cool, the slime was cool, but I couldn't feel like I actually saw it, right?
Yeah.
I think I saw like with the slime builds and the water builds, we only saw the brick breaking apart, not really the element itself. So, you know, Team Glitter. What can I say, Caleb?
Wayne,
I'm gonna
Wayne, I will say, like, with your build, like Lego, when you build a build out of Lego, there's no like noise to it, right? Like it just sits there, it's static. But I just can imagine like the big like monster just going fulk on top of the spaceship. Like every time I would see it, I just envisioned that sound in my head, and it just which speaks to how fantastic your build was, because it just
so good.
You put a story together in your own brain about how that huge blob ended up on top of the ship.
Yeah, what we called it, sabog, that's actually a Filipino word. It means complete and utter disaster. So usually we say that for like, oh, sabog, like car crash, or sabog, your house fell over, you know. So it's like that's kind of the feeling that I think we were to capture with that build. It's like, well, that sucks. But thanks, Philip. I appreciate it. Yeah, just, you know, we got lucky because I don't know, like, I don't know what possessed us to use orange, right? But then we thought, you know, hey, the alien is green and is wearing an orange jumpsuit, blah, blah, blah. It's just like, that's why me and Zach were getting so furious with each other, because we're like, okay, why is there a big alien monster and how is it blowing up? Just, you know, glitter would have been better. The glitter would have taken everyone's attention away from the build, but it worked out in the end.
Yeah. All right, Don, I think you're up.
I'm trying to think what character would I have drawn if I had the option to draw one, since we got what was left over.
You know you want the Cabaret Girl.
How did they decide the drawing? How did they decide the drawing order again? Was it just like
the draw order?
I think it was random. It was random.
They had given us random numbers, and Jack and I drew last.
That's right. That's right.
So we got what was left, and they didn't show on the show how excited I was actually to get the Jewel Thief and
pretty good
glitter, especially because I knew it was going to have probably the on-screen display, you know. And it did. You know, I've got a couple still photos of our builds when it exploded, and it's like, that's exactly what I was going for. The colors and the sparkle and everything, and it really worked out well. So I can't really think of any other one that I would have wanted unless it was something else that had glitter.
Exactly.
Glitter was really a big thing. So yeah, like Wayne was saying, glitter definitely Team Glitter all the way, Caleb.
I would like to point out that the crew that they had on set did a fantastic job of cleaning up that glitter really quickly between resets. Like I can see right now, glitter goes everywhere. Like literally, it just hangs in the air forever.
Yeah.
But man, they cleaned that up pretty quick. I was impressed. I thought for sure we were going to be there for like 10 years, or you'd like walk back up to the front of the stage later and slip on some glitter on the floor.
Oh, I know. And they had air handlers, you know, because of the explosives. You know, that air handlers were turning over the air, and just everything was. It was really. They did a very good job, I think.
Kudos to the crew.
All right, Timothy.
All right, so we didn't want to trade. We didn't want to trade at all. As soon as Zach picked it, he was like, I got an idea. I know what we're doing. I know where we're going. Even before we got back to the platform after watching that, he was just like, no, we're ready to rock and roll. So we didn't want to trade at all. So, I guess we could kind of think about one that we might have wanted to do. But, I mean, we didn't want to trade. It was just like, boom, we got it. We're ready to go. So
I thought it was really
I
impressive
built
that your figurine survived with only 1 foot on there. I thought that was pretty cool.
Ours?
Yeah, because like yours was only on like 1 foot, right? Like you only stuck 1 foot
When
on
we-
there.
Well, that's behind the scenes stuff.
Oh, okay.
So we did. I mean, we had a way that we were going to anchor our guy in. There's a little thing in stop motion that you can do to build your guy so he has 1 foot down, so he looks like he's running.
Oh, okay.
But that was against the rules, and so what we had to do is readjust. And so he had to be standing, just like a normal standing. And we readjusted that. So what you saw, Wayne, was when we first did it, we didn't realize that there was an adjustment or that we were doing something illegal. So they adjusted it and put it down so it was standing. And we literally. And Zach knows how to do this way better than I do because I can't remember what he did. But somehow he had it so that this piece, there was an extra stud, and this was trapped between 2 studs. So even if he got hit, there was no way he was coming off.
Yeah, it would have been a huge trick, right?
But we
we
weren't allowed
had
to
a
do
similar
it.
thing we were doing too, and they said, "Oh,
Yeah,
we
they
forgot to
told us,
tell you."
No, you can't do that. Both feet have to be straight down. You can't do anything running.
Yeah, but it makes sense. It makes sense
They're
for fairness.
preventing all
They
of our
needed both.
big brain
They needed,
moments.
they needed everything down.
They had like
Yeah.
a
it was
really
perfectly
they had a
fine. We
rule
just
that you
didn't
had to
realize that
have
was part of it.
clearance around the minifigure when it was stuck in the spot, so everybody was on the same playing field.
Yeah.
So if somebody had 3 studs for their character,
Or 4.
Oh, I had 4.
was
I
it
had
all
4.
4? Did she stand
we had
on all
4.
4, or does she have one up?
One of them, I guess 3. So to your point,
Yeah.
more than
I
2.
think one's up.
Yeah, Randall had
You need more
3.
than 2.
Randall had 3. I had 4.
There you go.
Because
did
of
you
the
have
dress.
4?
Yeah, because of the wedge dress. I
Oh,
think
she
I
had the
had-
dress was a 2x2 at the bottom,
That
wasn't
Yeah,
wedge
it's a
it?
is
2x2.
very fragile, though.
That's
That wedge is-
right.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it's just connected by studs. It's not connected by leg pins. So, like, I think that's
So, yeah,
an
the-
advantage
the-
in some regard, but a disadvantage in other regards.
Yeah, I was worried that she was going to break in half and get disemboweled. Was my worry because
No.
That would have been really awkward for TV. Just want to point that out. A little bit of
well,
slime
man,
squirts out.
one little moat. That brick was just a little bit to the side. Instead of knocking the sword, you would have had a complete torso shot of oh, I guess we lost.
Yeah, that would have been bad.
Michelle, how about you? Would you guys have traded for anything or?
I mean, I think we were excited we got a girl. Then we got a girl. But again, the space thing was like, I've never done anything spacey. But so maybe Elf Girl? I don't know.
Oh, we should have traded. I love space. Yeah, as you can tell, I got spaceships all over the place.
I also like the Ladybug, but that one was already done to perfection. So
Yes.
Yeah. Well, after I saw it, I'm like, okay. Someone else did it. We're done. How about you, Steve? I got it right.
No, it's Steve.
Got it.
Steven.
Got it.
Steven.
Close.
That's a
Damn.
good question. The one that really stood out was the wizard and glitter. That would have been I would have had a giant cauldron and 2 giant trolls, and then they explode and the cauldron explodes and the wizard they tried to buy a potion bomb from the wizard to blow up the castle, but he was actually friends with the castle, so he's like, have fun with that. So he blows them up instead. That would have been so much fun. But I thought about it. Tim, the scientist was really good. That was the cartoon villain.
Yeah.
The potential.
I think if I'm right, I can't remember everybody's builds, but I think we were the only one that went full anti-hero. We just embraced anti-hero. I don't think anybody else. I don't know. I can't remember. Maybe somebody else did, but we were just the evil laugh and everything. We're just gonna embrace the anti-hero.
Hey Tim, how does that evil laugh go again?
Yeah.
I didn't take it too personally. We're like, guy, your figure's got a lab coat. He's like, mad scientist. I'm like, oh man.
All right.
Can't take that,
Right.
can't take that too personal.
I will say really quick about our fig, really quick. Me and Mark love building plants, right? We love foliage and trees. We've made tutorials and stuff. But what's weird is by the time we were done, we hated our fig. I don't know why. We couldn't get away from the green color to save our lives. So we had a barn that wasn't planned. We were going to do a greenhouse. We had all the other colored fruits and stuff. We had as many of those as we could. because Amy and Jamie were hitting us really hard. You have too much of one color. Like, oh, okay, so we had to fix it up.
Yeah, Amy and her color theory got in your head, man, and messed you up a little bit, but it was okay by
our
the end.
head, man. Oh, I did not see that coming at all. They were really hard on us. I told Philip like,
well, you were riding high from your sea serpent. You're like,
really
we're doing great, and then all of a sudden,
yeah, it was like
That's harsh,
Anakin
bro.
Skywalker after Obi-Wan Kenobi defeats him in Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
That's how I felt with Green Park. That was us. I was in the lava. He was on the top. Yeah, he's gonna leave.
if you guys don't mind, I'll do a couple of quick answers for a few questions, and then we'll get to another. Unless you have something to say.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I actually have to run pretty soon.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I was only able to. I could have mentioned earlier. I was only able to be on for a few minutes.
No, that's all right because Lauren's in the green room back, so I
Yeah.
can. You go, she can pop back in.
So,
So
but before I run, really quick to Don. During well, funny thing was, I couldn't wear the. I couldn't wear a DOTS bracelet. So when you guys had your DOTS bracelet, I'm like, oh, that's so cool. I wish I could make one, but tried to put it on, it could not fit. So I thought about making my own Kelsey bracelet, but it's like this isn't working at all. I was just too big.
Send me
but I
a
lost
measurement
weight.
of your wrist because I
Yeah,
can
I
I
actually
can
lost
adapt.
weight. I lost like 10
Same with
pounds.
you too, Philip.
Good job.
Send me a measurement of your wrist. I can adapt it.
But I lost weight. So I went to a sink wave.
Oh,
Nice.
thank
Sink wave
you.
look, and I have a gold butterfly.
Oh, and a gold butterfly.
Yeah, I lost 10
Wonderful.
pounds. I caught a cold. It wasn't COVID, amazingly. But I lost 10 pounds, and now they actually fit without cutting the blood off from my hands.
That's
So
wild.
yeah, it's
Good
pretty
job,
funny. I wanted to
Steven.
share that.
Thank you.
Mark walked up to someone like, "No, cough harder in my face. I have to lose weight so I can get this bracelet thing on."
No, I don't know how I caught it, but it wasn't COVID. I had it tested and everything, but it was just a normal cold. I'm still coughing. You saw it a minute ago. But yeah, now I can wear the bracelet. So next time you see me at convention, hopefully I'll still lose that weight.
Awesome.
And,
Yeah. Yeah.
How many of the
Post
people
it
here
on
go to
Instagram.
radio?
I got a couple hashtags for it if you would.
Yeah, I'll post that Sunday, I think. Yeah.
Because I'm putting all of them. I'm putting them in my story and I'm putting them in my highlights. So
Yeah.
everybody that makes one and puts the hashtag on there.
I'm also
we
putting
need
it
to
in
get
the
you
email,
some
too.
socks. We need to get some socks made.
Socks.
Yeah, we need to do some socks. I got some stuff. So.
Yeah, I'm barefoot. I need socks.
Oh, I love you guys.
Only on
It's
Moto.
88 degrees. I'm barefoot.
Yeah. So, be well, Mark. I'm going to flip you out for Lauren.
It's
And-
even.
Yeah. Well, someday we'll see Mark.
Right.
This thing right
You know,
here.
every episode he's gonna do something because last one it was throwing me. He said, "Hey, we're gonna highlight Tim," and instead of highlight,
Throw you into the green room.
I don't have a webcam. So
Did you guys see that post on the Lego Masters thing when they had me and Zach on there? It was like, did you see Zach and Ryan's soaring dragon build? Did you anyone see
Yes.
that?
No.
You know, it's just like
No.
Ryan.
Did you see what they did when we did our exit interview? At the end of
What
it,
did they
they've got Jack and I are talking, about leaving, and they say senior siblings. I'm like, what are they going to confuse Brian and Lauren with us? Really?
That's offensive.
I was like, wait a minute
Well-
here. It's obvious we're senior. They don't need to put that in there,
yeah.
Just siblings
Well-
works.
Well, I will say in the Australian
Well,
version, there's a
Steven,
couple.
I'm going to do the flippity flu, but it's been great to see you, man.
Yeah.
There's a couple
love you
in the
guys.
Australian season,
sure
and
it's
they're
Steven?
like
Maybe it's
3 and
mine.
9 age.
Yeah, I'll
And
say
they're like they refer to them as the old married couple.
So, I got a mini.
Oh, you can dump
we
him.
aren't
He's
that
gone
one
now.
either. Yeah.
Yeah.
We aren't the old married
He's
couple.
waiting-
Maybe they don't want us
guys,
to
he's
use this
So
old married.
hard. This is great.
He's waving goodbye. He wishes us well. Yeah, I can see him. You guys can't, but I can see him. I can see you. Oh, double hand wave. Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Let me try to answer just a few quick questions because they get a little tricky here. So we can never speak about upcoming shows, but I know that some. Well, I'll speak for myself. I'm nervous about something coming up, but that's all we can say.
Yeah.
I'm
and
not
then-
nervous at all.
yeah, she's not nervous.
I can sit back and I can enjoy it. I will build to help
exactly.
Oh man, but as soon as I learn what they are, because since I was gone, I did not learn except for what we see in the promos. So now I'm kind of like, now I'm waiting to see. All right.
And that is something that is interesting about our show is once you leave, you're truly cut off from whatever's going to happen. So you basically transition into seeing the show as a fresh pair of eyes because it's literally it's gone. Yep. So regarding the themed builds, you could not use any intellectual property from any Lego theme unless you are doing something intentfully like the Star Wars challenge, where you are explicitly told there is a theme that you build within. Otherwise, like you couldn't do Harry Potter, but you could do something like a fantasy world, or you could say it's medieval, or fun. You can
wizards and
Yeah, you can't have Star Wars, but you can have laser swords.
Right.
You have to do like the knockoff language to get
cheap
around
version.
kind of what you're trying to do.
Lepin version.
That's what I was going to say.
Lepin version. That's who said that? I'm gonna green room you. I'm gonna come and get
It would
you.
be really funny though. Just on the Star Wars challenge, you did like classic space instead. Just saying.
Oh yeah, like Betty shows up, like
yeah, like wait, this is Star Wars.
That's the Imperial Benny Cruiser. Don't you guys? Did you see that?
So one of the things that we
blue,
did,
yellow, and gray spaceship.
Yeah.
one of the things that we did is it was a callback to Phineas and Ferb. This was Dr. Schmertz.
Yeah,
based on
Doofenshmirtz.
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 Oh.
So that was our
show.
callback
That's
to
so
Dr.
good.
Schmertz. That's why with our evil scientists we had Dr. Schmertz instead of obviously the copyrighted stuff, which you can't say and can't do and whatever. But my kids growing up loved Phineas and Ferb, and there's 104 days.
Okay.
Mom, Tim's
Now-
making a
That's
title
amazing.
sequence.
Now, did you sneak a platypus somewhere in the back, or you didn't want to risk
no,
it?
we couldn't do that.
Carrie.
We
Yeah,
couldn't
couldn't
get
risk it.
Carrie in there, but yeah,
Yeah.
Hey,
that was,
Tim, you know what we're gonna do today?
Blow stuff up.
Yeah. I think this is a common question as well. Was it hard for us to see the builds we worked on for? Well, it wasn't forever, guys. It was only
It was only 10 hours. It was only 10 hours.
Because you want it to be exploded so well. So instead of, I think, being bummed, you're like, explode,
Yeah.
like as big as it can, just because that's what you
Yeah,
want
because
to
when we
happen.
lined up,
And you know
Yeah.
from the beginning that that's what you're aiming for when you start.
yeah, when we were lining up on the risers, I mean, we were just like, all right, we're gonna blow some stuff up.
Yeah.
so
Because
it's
whenever
kind
you
of
get to blow
exciting.
something up with Lego that's not yours,
Yes.
capture it in slow motion and not have to clean it up. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that.
Very
No,
well said.
trifecta.
Very well put. Yes.
Especially
Yeah.
with the
Yeah.
especially when they're using a camera rig setup that you could not afford because that was like you guys know what they were setting up and what they put together to film
my
that
gosh.
stuff, and I was like, this is not your YouTube channel. This is not even
Right.
this is not even slow-mo, guys. They had like equipment there, and it was like it was like crazy when they set everything up.
It's not slow-mo on your
Right.
iPhone.
No, it was legit. That was massive.
So I hated it. I didn't want any of this stuff to go. I mean, some of the stuff that we created was so awesome. I mean, like I'd love, but anyway, sorry. I'm conflicting with the entire other group, but that's okay because I did not like this. I don't like destroying it. I don't like blowing it up. I don't like it. I just don't like
Okay,
it.
so
Let me ask this.
So
one, though.
Tim, you got to message Corey Sams, and you two got to form a brotherhood of like
Yeah.
the Preservation Society of Lego, because you and Corey both hate Lego getting destroyed. He hated it.
I will say though, no matter what, they were going to take it apart.
I don't like that
Yeah.
either. I don't
It's
like
just,
that
it's
either.
just really quick disassembly.
I know, but I don't want them to take it apart either. I mean,
No.
our parade float, I wish I had it. I know it's all dismantled and everything, but I wish I had it. I wish, all right.
You
It
gotta
was the
rebuild that
world's
home.
fastest factory reset.
Right.
to make-
This piece right here, let's see if I get it in here. This is
Yeah.
actually from our build. when it exploded.
How did you? No way. How did? There was impossible.
No, it's not. Don't incriminate yourself. Don't do it.
A couple of the producers, the stage managers, you could actually see scorch marks on it. So this one.
So yeah, because
one of the things, because they come to our feet. The pieces were coming as far as where our feet were standing. We were in the front row, and so one of the stage managers picked this up for me and handed it to me.
Huh.
That was nice of them.
Yeah.
That was nice.
I have my only funny story was when I pulled in last episode, I pulled a brick with scorch marks on it as a 1x2 white brick, and it was chipped enough where I couldn't use it. And I had to hand it over to the pit crew to get it out of circulation. But I think it was one of the recycles from season 1, and that might have been why they had the new policy of once I handed that brick over and they realized there was one that got through the cracks. They're like, we're not doing this again. Anything that goes through the blow up challenges is just out.
Right. So this was not going to get recirculated back in anyway. So
no, that thing's
it was going to be a dumpster. So
yeah.
All right, guys, I got to jump. Bye, everybody.
Bye, Brian.
Bye, Brian.
See you later.
Yeah, we're coming up on the 13 minutes from wrapping up, probably, unless you guys want to.
I'll head out soon.
Yeah.
Hey, Modo, are you going to Bricks Rodeo?
Yes, I am. We should go around. Okay, so yeah, some folks are going to Brick Rodeo. Some are going to Brick Fair, Virginia. So Brick Rodeo, raise your hand if you are going to that one. Okay, Brick Fair, Virginia.
Jen is also going.
Okay.
When is the Virginia? I have to get numbers on this. I actually might be able to go to the Virginia one. My schedule's completely changed, so I might be able to go to Virginia. But I got to get details from that and find out if it's possible.
Hey, Tim, if you
I won't let the public know this, but I will say this: there is a document you can reference.
Yeah, and Tim, I have an email that I need to send you. So if you do decide to go, send me a message on our messenger, and then I will.
Yeah, I'll hit you up because it was just a sudden change of things, and I knew I wasn't able to. Now I need to figure out details, see if I can make it work. Short notice. I'm sorry, but we'll see.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but
you know
so,
what? Actually,
so if some of you are interested in meeting us in person, we are tracking all of the conventions that are coming up and whether we're going to be attending, yes or no, and we do some logistics. But Brick Rodeo will be the first major public convention. You saw a couple of us are going to be there, and then Brick Fair Virginia is the week after. Some other parts of us are going to be there. And then next year, I think we're pretty much going to flock to Chicago. Is going to be the main draw.
Chicago.
Well, we also talked about Bricks LA.
Yes.
Ooh, that would be fun.
That's
come to
coming up
California, everybody, please.
Only
Come
because
here.
you guys have Disneyland.
And we have Disneyland, and we have Legoland.
Lauren.
And Legoland. What are you
And
talking about?
Legoland. Yeah.
We got
And
to pull.
Lauren and Brian.
No,
Kelly is asking about Philadelphia. Man, I'd love to go back to Philly. I actually grew up in Philly.
Yeah, we're pulling your
really?
card just for a night because you didn't mention Legoland before Disney.
Right.
I've been to Legoland already, though. I've not been to Disney.
Okay. Well, Fox is under Disney brand, so I guess we'll let it slide. You're still promoting the brand, right?
Yeah, I just want to go to the Lego store in Disneyland. That's really
The Disney Lego store
There you
is
go.
so good.
It is
So
good.
good.
Oh, and if you guys
One
don't
of
know,
the other things, Moto, on that, on
Check
all
that.
of the events too. I know several of us are doing meet and greets. I know you did one out in Colorado.
Today.
We're thinking about
Yeah.
doing one together. We're trying to do one down in South Michigan. So if anybody, obviously you know where we all come from. So check our profiles, follow us, so that way each of us are going to be in different areas, and so you can kind of follow it from that perspective.
well, let's go real quick because not everybody knows. So I'm in Denver, Colorado. Randall,
Chicago, Illinois.
Caleb,
La Crosse, Wisconsin.
Wayne,
Stockton, California.
Dawn,
West Michigan.
Midwest
Lower
Builders.
Peninsula.
Philip, go.
West Michigan.
Oh, there are too many Michigan people.
We're neighbors. Like, I'm not
Yeah.
practically neighbors. Just saying.
Michelle,
I'm in Mesa, Arizona.
awesome. Tim.
I'm in northern Michigan, just below the bridge. I'm a troll.
So basically, if
Yeah,
you
we're
live in
all
Michigan, you're going to run into someone by your house. Lauren.
So good. I'm in a small town right by Laguna Beach, California, and then Brian lives in Los Angeles.
Okay. So, yes, the second season is geographically dispersed.
We are all over the place.
So we're not just on the coast. We're actually all throughout the U.S.
Season 2, fire. Season 1,
Can I say something? Because Kelly's totally. I'm like, geeking out
Wait,
about
don't you
Kelly
start
right
with
now.
me.
Kelly's like,
Don't you dare start.
What's
Don't.
that?
Wade's trying to do the whole season 2 versus season 1. I'm like,
No.
it's one
We
family.
love
Don't
everybody.
you even start.
We love
Don't
them
you
all.
even start.
If you grew up in Philadelphia, I
I'm
don't know
saying I
how
like
old
season
Kelly
1,
is.
but season 2 is legit. Just
No, I think what we need to do is
I'm starting the fire.
I
Don't
think
you-
it needs to be like
Don't you play with me.
like a reality show or something like that. Like we need to pick another random reality show and like go
Yeah.
up against them, right?
There you go.
Let's do the
Okay, how's this? Lego Masters versus Domino Masters when it comes out.
Yeah.
There we go.
Oh
'Cause-
my god.
Because we know that our success is bringing forth yet another competition show that
Maybe
is
we can
built
build some
around.
dominoes.
What? Do you
That's
think
cool.
they'll ever do like a Lego Masters where they have it against like what US versus the world? Because I'm just telling you right now, my money's on like the US Lego Masters. Our Lego Masters season
Wow.
from the US will beat anyone in the world. I'm just saying.
Oh,
Just saying. I'm gonna start the
can't get-
fire. Like I
I
like
can't
how
get
we
it to
do it
stop.
everywhere
Put
else,
him
but
back in the green room.
Yeah.
yeah, no,
Oh, man.
I'm just
So-
saying.
Oh, sorry.
Pars is like,
Pars
what
is
did I
joining.
just walk into?
So funny.
Um,
Sorry, guys. I gotta head out. I wanna
Yep.
say
Me
bye.
too.
It was
I've
so
gotta head out
fun
too.
to Talk to you
Bye,
all.
Lauren.
Bye,
Yeah.
guys.
Bye, Lauren.
Talk to you
Wayne,
soon.
Wayne, get out of here before I green room you again, man. Just leave.
Yes, sure.
Get out.
I'm gonna wait for the Flame Wars.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Oh my.
Hi, Pars.
Hi.
We were talking a little bit about like setting the charges. I explained that on ours. Nice shuttle.
Nice.
Working on it.
And then, was there anything like from the explosion you think people missed that kind of you thought was amazing, or any part of the build process that you thought was, would have been nice if there was like a 3.5 hour Snyder cut version of this thing?
Oh, I mean, I can't imagine if you hadn't already talked about it. But the part where you and I were on the floor.
I didn't talk about that.
What?
Really?
I do not know about this. How do I not know about this?
Yeah, what?
Yeah, what was that? I was next to you. I don't remember that.
What? Really? Maybe it was a dream. I don't know. Or nightmare. No, we were working on our dam, right? Remember the story? We worked hard on that dam. In fact, I seem to remember I think we tore it apart and did it again based on the feedback from was it Jimmy and Amy? I think it was, but
The top, yeah, not the internal structure, because that took 4 or 5 hours or 6 hours to set up. But yeah, the top upper part I had to.
I took all my shit apart. I take all my stuff apart and put it all back on for the desert scene and all that, right?
Yes.
And then, when we blew the thing up, I mean, the whole thing was, we were trying to cut the embankment so that the Elfish girl wouldn't get knocked over. Remember? The tree and
I was there.
right? We worked really hard on that whole thing. And so what happened when the thing exploded, the sword got knocked out from the shrapnel, and it was so close. But the elf herself, she didn't get knocked over. Remember? And so we were just oh my god, we almost got sent home basically.
Oh, on the floor. Okay, I get it.
So they showed my reaction in the
right.
teaser trailer.
Exactly.
So
I remember that.
the part where I have my hands on my head and
Yes.
I'm freaking out, rolling around the floor, that was the reaction to this explosion
Yeah.
from that near miss. Instead, they showed me jumping up and down, but
they should
either
have.
one's fine.
I mean, I wish they just showed you laying out on the floor, because that. I mean, in my mind, that was epic, and I was
dead, dude.
down. I was down there with.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I don't know. For me, that was like definitely one of the major highlights of my experience of on the entire show, and I was really bummed that I didn't see that.
Yeah, if you had the opportunity to choose the figure, not blind assignment, which figure would you have chosen?
Oh, that's easy. I forget who it was, but it was the wizard with the glitter.
Wow.
Guys, I'm telling you.
Everybody wants the wizard.
Wow,
With the
Susan and Jen had that fire. Okay.
That was.
I'm telling you, it would have been if they said, "Here's all the figures, everybody has to run and get it." It would have been you know,
Half y'all would have went for the wizard.
Sharks and Jets would have been
Yeah.
you know, stabbing each other with
Wizard
their-
had been in
with-
pieces.
yeah. It would have been a bunch of people surrounding that wizard.
Would have been a Royal Rumble.
Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Right.
I felt bad for Dave and Richard with the violin.
Oh man.
Yeah, and then they pulled it off. I mean, they pulled it off. They did great, right?
They did.
But
Awesome.
yeah. I think in the beginning, it's like everybody was like, "Well, at least I didn't get the violin guy."
You know that.
Pied
that
Piper. I didn't know what to
I
do
think
with it.
it's on Netflix that they've got that show where the strongest person is the violin girl. She blows up the moon or something like that. I forgot the show, but she
right.
actually blows up the moon and destroys the entire world because she plays her violin. I don't remember. Somebody can put it in the chat or whatever. But there's actually a show where the violin person has the strongest power of all of the 5 heroes or 6 heroes or whatever. I can't remember how many there are. It's one of those spin-off type things. It's a
It
kind of
sounds like a spin-off of a like
Yeah,
a
it does.
Now I'm gonna have to look
That's
it
a
up and
deep
figure
cut.
it out. Oh crap!
Yeah. So Brickworm, we answered your question about placing explosives. Umbrella Academy. Earlier on, everybody's saying Umbrella Academy.
Yeah, that's what it is. Umbrella Academy. There you go. See?
Wow.
Trust the
Tim,
chat.
You wanted
Trust the
them.
chat.
It does exist.
I only watch Lego Masters on TV, so I don't know about any of these other shows.
Oh,
Just saying.
Nice plug.
okay, Phil.
Nice
Phil, you got
plug.
your card back. You got
I
your
am
card
sorry.
back from that earlier comment. Was there anything that you guys thought that should be answered, or you wanted to talk about now that we're coming up on time about this episode that wasn't discussed? Just open forum, open floor.
Can I sorry, the one thing, and I'm so thankful that they showed the relationship between myself and Zach and how we clown around with each other. I have to say, with their editing and the way they did that, yeah, I know we have a lot of fun, but that's just kind of like the surface, and it shows how deep our relationship is. So I was so thankful that they shared that part of our story. And kudos to the editing team, to the producers, to everybody that did that, because if we can be an example and set kind of an example to be able to allow parents and kids to connect, I always want to be able to do that. And if anybody wants to reach out and talk, I'm always willing to talk. But that was the one thing I was so thankful for in this last episode, that they really showed that part of the story.
You know, I hope I have a relationship like that with my daughter when she.
Yeah.
You can do embarrassing dad moments, man. You gotta.
Oh, I
right?
do right now, but you know.
Come on, no, come on. You can do it.
No, my God.
Mo's got it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, Tim saw this. Tim saw Small Art Director was instantly like dad mode when he got his little shirt on. So
Yeah, I saw
Wow.
him. I saw the post. That was great.
yeah, he loves the ironic dab every once in a while. And then I was about to do it, and he's like, "Don't even try, Daddy. Don't even try."
See, he knows.
Like shut me down. He shut me down.
That's the best.
Eventually, Randall is going to do this with me. That's my
I'm
life
infringing
goal
on your brand, Tim. I can't dab. You might as
Randall,
well.
you got to do it with me, brother.
That's like
I'm
Randall
going-
telling a dad joke. He just can't, right? Like,
No.
or me like looking. cool
Tim,
and
Tim,
cool or
Randall is
something,
super
you know? It's like
regular.
infringing on
He's
Randall's
not gonna
brand.
dab.
I'm chilling.
He's,
Yeah,
he's super regular.
Thank
super
you.
regular dog. Caleb, I think, has got that one. I did want to call out Michelle and Natalie. Do you like it a lot, and swapping for Will's position on the stage?
I'm glad.
I mean, that's like
that was
that's
so
like
funny.
that's like 2-0, man. You guys are racking up the score against poor Will Arnett.
Right.
That was I love that part of the episode. I thought that was awesome.
Absolutely.
That was fun.
I got a ton of comments this past week about it was just like an offhand comment of us interviewed when I said that I just want to see things blow up or something like that. And apparently,
you got the animated gift treatment from the Fox Media team.
Yeah, that's right. So that was kind of cool for me this week. I got a ton of comments on that, and so that was just cool. And the other thing I got, I think I know I've shown you guys this. I just thought I'd share a little bit. I've been on a number of interviews, just like you guys, and this has been very
Can
well.
you highlight a Moto?
Yeah, sorry about that. Look at solo mode.
Wow. Oh, that's right.
This is so for all those who don't know, this is signed by every one of my fantastic friends here on Lego Masters, and I cherish this little memento. I have a little shrine now in my
That's awesome.
Lego room, and it was showcased a little bit this past week. And
you've got the clickies in there.
Yes, I do. I do.
Oh,
have
dang.
The clicky and the clickette, which are these two, and these are I view these are a present from Moto to me. So I hold that, cherish that in my little shrine here as well. But this whole thing was presented quite a bit in this past week on some of the interviews, and it's going to be coming out a little bit more in the couple interviews coming up. I have one with NPR coming out. So
that's nice.
A little bit.
I love that.
Awesome.
So let's end on that note. We'll go around, and everybody I think got an autographed something or other to take home with them eventually, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, everybody's going to start pulling it. I was just going to ask you where it is. You didn't have to pull it down.
Oh, it's super easy.
Randall, is yours easy to get?
Mine is hung
Or is
up,
it-
so I can't
Okay.
bring it. But
So what was yours? So you can't show yours off. So what was yours, and where did you put it?
mine was it was a poster of a Lego patent. And I
Yep.
got everybody to sign it, and a few other people did the same thing.
Yep, we did that.
Yep.
And then you got it framed, and you have it hanging now.
Yeah, it's framed and hanging.
Michelle,
in
you
my
too?
Lego room.
Yeah, I haven't got mine framed yet, but I also got
Right.
my build, part of my build signed, but it's not right here. So
That's okay. That's okay. And the rest of you were Caleb. How about you?
Yeah, I had my
There it is.
build parted out. So that was really fun.
That's right. I remember that.
Yeah, I remember you guys porting that.
Yeah, there was a bunch of like filler brick in it from the casting finals, and like, gotta use that. So it's brand new. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know if we'll do anything else with this. Put like a little logo on it or something, perhaps. but
Yeah.
This makes me very happy.
Yeah.
Awesome. Dawn, you were holding up a set.
All right.
Yeah,
Yep,
because of the
this is a
motorcycle
set
and Jack,
that
right?
Jack and I. Yeah, Jack and I both got one of these, and we got everybody to sign it. I bought another set, and I built the motorcycle, and it sits up there on a shelf right below this. So,
Yeah.
and then a minifigure of Jack and I are up there as well. And usually the little Moto Mixel guy goes up there too, but he's been down here,
the
so I've been
little
showing him off.
yeah, the Motobot. Yeah.
Yeah, so those all go up there, and my patch, we can build it patch, is up there with them that I got from Michelle and Natalie.
Oh, I didn't know that. So you guys gave her one of the patches off the
I did, yeah.
the uniform.
Mm.
Oh, dang.
I bought like 10 of them or something. So
Really?
I was like, I thought I was going to put it on everything.
Snap! I didn't get one.
Dawn's your favorite. We understand. We got it.
We understand.
We were right next door.
Yeah.
Our sofas
Somebody has
butted
to be
up
a
against
favorite.
each other.
Yeah.
Were fantastic.
Phil, how about you?
We did the 3-in-1 camping set.
Awesome.
That's right.
Both Maria and I grew up camping and started doing that with the kids a little bit here, doing some backpacking and stuff. And actually, it's funny because this is the second one that we had ordered, and the first one came in, the box was all dented up. So yeah, we kept it though because actually we're going to do the same thing that Don's got going on. We have a display cabinet. We have a second one that we're going to put in the basement here, and this will go in the back, and then the actual build set will go in the front. So This way we can leave the set together in the box, sealed, but yet still have it displayed in front.
Yeah.
Yep, that's what I did.
Tim, I can't recall.
Yeah, so I have the ship.
Oh,
Yeah,
Jake
Oh,
said
the
it was
ship in
ship
the
in the
bottle.
bottle.
Yep.
Yeah, and I mean, there's so many things in here, but if you look right behind, I'll try to get out of the way. I have that set right in the back of all of my interviews, all of my coaching. I've got the ship built here with the compass that, I mean, this is my logo for all of the stuff that I'm doing. So it fits with so much of my business. It's part of my brand. It's part of everything. That's why I picked this one. And just tying my brand together with all of you guys, I feel like it's a big family. And I'm so thankful that I was able to put, it's Jake's ship in the bottles. That's what I got signed with everybody.
Yeah.
And then the one build in front, which you guys know.
Well, hold on. I've been negligent and realizing full screen people.
Yeah, so I'm kind of out of the way here, but this is where it sets right behind with the rocks, and there's a whole bunch of things here. Obviously, my little Zen. But this is the the ship. Bring it up here again so that way we can see it.
That's such a great set.
I even see where I saw my autograph there. Wow.
There, I can hold it longer. That way y'all can find yourself.
Yeah, I can see me.
I forgot.
Yeah, I would like to think. I think it was Jen. I think was the first one that had the idea because she had the hospital set. So,
Yeah.
but she brought it out early enough where everybody was like, "All right."
It was Moto.
No.
Oh,
yeah. I think Moto started a lot of
It
those things. I
was
forgot.
the bag.
That's
Yeah,
right.
Moto had the bag.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
So I planned ahead like a boss and brought the Lego Masters bag for everybody to see.
Yeah. That's
And
right.
then I lent out all the markers and they went around. It was cool. But what's even more awesome, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but I was able to meet Crystal at one point. So I got her to sign the other side.
Oh, that's
Awesome.
right. Yeah.
Yep.
So as time goes on, I want to take this to conventions, and if the season 1 cast is rolling through the same conventions, I want to try to fill this thing out.
That's awesome.
That would be
Right.
awesome.
That
would be really awesome.
I've picked one of those up now too, and it's hanging
I see it.
back here.
Yeah.
There.
What are you gonna do if there's a season 3?
Yeah.
I'll get a third bag, and then I'll try to get everybody signed. I don't know. It's not like. And then I did 2 bags. So what I'll do is I'll take the other Lego bag you guys signed, and I'll have season 3 do the opposite side. So it's kind of like a
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But yeah, we all have our little doohickeys. And Dawn, bring that bag around, and we'll fill it back in. We'll have 2 things.
Oh yeah. I'm definitely bringing it to Brick Rodeo and every place else I'm going. So
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
So we
you
all
highlight
need to
Bart?
frame. Yeah, we need to frame that thing. I haven't done it yet. So that was another thing. We can go out on a high note with that.
That's cool.
So in case anybody doesn't know in the chat, everybody who's on Lego Masters gets a bunch of sets sent to them. And they're the European versions. And then it says Dear Lego Master on there. So you get the AFOL title with it. And then Dawn, I'll highlight you. It looks like you've got yours framed.
I've got mine framed.
Wow.
I've got the address. I've got the shipping label. I've got. I cut it in half so I can see. You can't really see this. This is a Lego, a 2x4 Lego brick.
Yeah,
shape.
it's a stud pattern. It's a stud.
Yeah,
pattern
it's
on
got
it.
the stud. Well, I don't know. And then I've got it framed. I got a yellow background. You can see my lights and my reflection and everything else. There, that's better.
That's great.
So,
Yeah.
I got sparkly yellow. I was kind of want to get some blue on here too, just because it's going to be the primary colors. But
Yeah, it looks like Caleb's reaching for something, but I'll go next. Yeah, so in case anybody wants to see it outside the
Yep.
frame,
right.
so you can see it with the highlights there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it opens up for the.
Love it.
Yep.
So you get your
Of
official
all
Lego
the things,
thing.
all the things that they sent, that's the biggest one.
This
Yes.
little piece of paper is a big deal for all of us.
So we need to get a photo of all of us holding them up because we've all got them. I mean, just real quick with everybody.
Yeah.
Tim, kick it off on the messaging app right now. Everybody take a picture with your little
right.
slip, and then
Yeah,
I can
we
use
can do
I can Photoshop it together into a mosaic.
Well, I think
Awesome.
if we do that and we do it with our signed stuff, I think that would be cool. And we can just kind of do a real quick. I don't think anybody else would really care, but I mean, I want to see everybody's stuff. I think that's really cool.
I do too.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah, we can make it a thing, and I can even edit stills together, whatnots, if you want.
yeah.
Is
So
there-
can I show you guys this as far as my rebrand?
Oh, wait, what?
What is that?
Hold on.
So this is
Building
the
bricks.
rebrand that I'm doing. It's one of the
Building
speeches
blocks.
that I've done. So it's a rebrand. These are stickers and stuff now. So I've got these things coming along. I'll send you guys ones if you want.
Yeah, I did one. Oh, definitely.
Yes, please.
Yeah, so I've got a couple more. I've got these stickers.
So Tim, wait a minute. I gotta ask you. Can you send those stickers out to the entire cast and crew? How do you feel about sending stickers out?
You know what I could even do is I could sign it and then send it.
Even better.
There you go.
Yep. Awesome.
I was doing my really bad Will impression.
Oh, is that what it was?
Oh, that's
So Tim, how would you feel about it if you had to send out stickers, signed, and autographed to everybody?
No, actually, you know what you say? Okay, if you don't go real fast, then you're gonna get a cut. We just won't be able to put it up.
Yeah.
You gotta go real fast.
Looks like George Timmons.
Pop, pop, boom. Pop, pop, boom.
I'm sorry. Can you use the present tense when you talk to me?
I was actually listening to Smartless, his podcast with Jason Bateman earlier today. It's actually really good. It's really
it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, everybody. We're gonna roll into 2 hours if I don't cut it off here because we always have to stop sometime.
Yeah, you guys send me messages if you want that stuff. There's people in the chat that you got to send me messages or whatever. I'll see what I can do. I can't promise, but I'll see what I can do.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for always stopping by on a Saturday and hanging out.
Yeah. Sorry, I couldn't make it.
I'm always worried it's just going to be like Philip and myself like talking weird nonsense.
What am I, top liver?
Wow.
No, I'm saying
You're in the green room.
I'm
It's
saying
okay. You're in the green
I'm saying
room.
you are always here early and you're the most, you're always there early. We're always chatting before we actually like fire the video off and then people start coming in. But, one of these days it might just be you and me like having dinner with Andre, the movie only like 4 hours long and we're talking complete nonsense by the end. But yeah, thank you guys all for coming and hanging out. And hopefully folks who have watched this, I can see Facebook comments, I can see YouTube comments. Thank you both platforms for watching this and hanging out. And feel free to always comment in the future. The next one, I think I need to do a Lord of the Rings reference. So I'll probably call it the 10 Towers. Like something like that.
There.
Yeah.
Isn't there 11 though?
Except there's
Is
11.
there 11?
Everything goes to.
Oh wait, let me.
How about a
11
how about
Towers.
a Bond
Okay, never mind.
reference? How about shaken not stirred?
Oh, I like that even better.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah.
It's not bad, Philip. I'll give it to you, bro.
Yeah. The Towering Inferno, shaken not stirred. I like it.
No, it's good, dude.
Yeah. Well, I'll figure out another one. Get the title card up. I have a whole week after all.
All right.
And like always, I will be virtually watching with all of you, time delayed on Tuesdays, and celebrating this wonderful show that we put together.
Yeah.
And feeling for everybody who's there.
Awesome.
So thank you very much. And on that, I will say goodbye. Everybody wave as I start to hit some buttons. Bye.